Is this thing working? Hello? Is this thing on? What is happening? Okay, let me breathe. So I just breathe in. I'm waiting for you guys to join. Like, is anybody there? A little nervous twist that I've done. Testing, testing. Is this thing on? How are we doing? Can we hear me? Can we? Oh, here's the live chat. Sorry, I was on top chat. I was like, where is everybody? Okay, so sounds better. You guys are here, but it's buffering. Is that the consensus? Y'all, I have to figure this out. Okay, I've got it on over here. Okay, we're good. What Wi-Fi I'm on? I'm on literally my Wi-Fi, so I don't know why to do that. Do not touch a thing. Yeah, it's buffering for me on my own thing. So I know it's buffering for you guys. And I know this is so annoying, y'all. And I just don't understand, like, why is this happening? We were going so strong for so many weeks. And then all of a sudden, like, literally one thing after another, every week something started to go wrong. And I don't know how to troubleshoot. And I look so crazy. Like, what is paused on? I can't take it. Y'all, I just want to talk. I just want to talk to you guys. And I literally don't know what else to do. Okay, I think we are good right now. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm not going to move anything. If it starts buffering again, I may switch my Wi Fi. It's giving warfare. It's actually interesting because on the Bible app this week, they're doing like the armor. They're like the child. Can I even have words? I literally have been trying to fix this and I've been editing the video. I'm just gonna talk. If y'all can hear me, y'all can hear me. Okay, welcome back to community time. I hope you all are doing well. It's been a while since we've talked. We didn't meet last week, and I thoroughly regret it. The armor of God. Thank you so much, Caitlin. But we didn't meet last week. I decided to take the week off and instead upload a vlog in order to kind of like catch up because there was like this event that I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to the event like with like the Miss DC organization, and then originally I really wanted to do I wanted to go to a dance class. It worked like this last time, so why is it doing it this time? Why is it doing this? Okay, I switched. Is it better now? Okay, I switched Wi-Fi's. Let's just see if it works. Um, because if I get cut off one more time, I'm not gonna lie, I'm going in the stream because I'm getting so frustrated is not even a word. Like I'm feeling a little defeated because I really don't know what else to do. Aww. I don't want to sit here and just pout the whole time, but I'm just trying to get my life together. And I don't want to talk and then it not work and then me not talk and it is working. Okay, let me try one more time. So I went to this Miss DC event and it was not worth missing community time. But I tried to take that time, get my life together, troubleshoot what's been going on with my streaming, but I was not able to figure it out. I wasn't able to get in contact with the help desk people. Well, I was, but they were messaging me back so slow that like I didn't get an answer. And I tried to do everything myself and it still didn't work. So we're back here at the same place 3 weeks later. Um, okay, let me quickly go through the updates that I have. My updates are that I was trying to edit a video my first day on Capitol Hill. I've been trying not to talk about it during community time because I want you guys to like watch the story time slash vlog first and then talk about it. So my goal was to have that video edited. That way we could talk about it before today's community time. Like I wanted it to go up and then the stream happened, but I didn't get it edited until like 5 minutes ago. And it's not ready. Like it's still um, uploading. So would you guys like that video tonight or do you want it tomorrow? Because I can upload that video tomorrow for you guys and then, or I could upload it on Sunday. It's up to you all. I'm not in a rush, but I don't want to get too behind on my videos. And that vlog is now like 2 weeks old. Why did I even ask y'all? I should say, do y'all want it tomorrow or do y'all want it on Sunday? Because I don't know. I could do it tonight, but the way that this stream, I feel like whenever I try and do things like the day of, it like doesn't go well, you know? Like that's what happened last week. I was like, okay, I'm gonna upload this vlog. And I uploaded the podcast on Sunday. Did anybody watch the podcast or listen to it? What did you all think? By the way, this is tea time. What tea are you all drinking tonight? Tonight I am drinking raspberry leaf tea, preparing for my cycle, as well as the immune and stress tea. And I have the what is it called? The lemon crystal light in here for a little bit of razzle dazzle. You guys know I love the lemon flavor. Yum. Um, Thank you so much, Makaya. Whatever makes me feel best, you're going to tune in regardless. I love answers like that. Thank you, Nicole. Whichever is best for you. Thanks, you guys. Oh, Sydney, I have a preference. Whatever is easier for you. Thank you. Right answer. Thank you to everybody who watched the podcast. 5 pastors who I have in rotation, like Darius Daniels, Pastor Mike Jr. From Rock City, and then Jerry Flowers, and then my own pastor. And you don't need too many people. You know, sometimes I watch Sarah Jakes Roberts. You don't need too many people. Stephen Furtick, like, yes, Zoom season. I'm so glad. Okay, so speaking of my Zoom season, I was like, I'm trying to get on my Zoom, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna upload this vlog because on the last day of the month, which is Sunday, or the last Sunday of the month, I'm going to upload the podcast. Like I said, I was going to do it. I didn't do it in February, so I was like, I got to do it in March. And so the podcast was, yeah, I know. RIP everybody to everybody who's ending their soft life era. It will be missed. But I really wish my streaming was working. Like I just keep looking down and I'm like, am I gonna pause? Am I gonna pause? Am I buffering? Am I buffering? Like I can't just like talk freely. I really not took advantage. What's the word? I took for granted the times we were able to stream for like an hour and 30 minutes and I was able to pull up stuff. Like I can't believe I took that for granted. because now I'm like, I would just kill for just a normal stream. But anyway, so on Wednesday, I edited the podcast, I think on Saturday. So on Wednesday, I'm still like, and once I rewatched it as I was editing it, I was like, yeah, I do need to get on my Zoom. Like, yeah, like soft girl. But by Wednesday, I was still kind of like still trying to figure it out. Like I said, it's a giving myself grace. There's a learning process. So I think like on Tuesday night, I had a really like long day, and then there was like alter night, and I kind of told myself I'll edit the vlog when I get home from alter night. Child, I did not edit that vlog. So on Wednesday, I went to work, and by the time I came back, I was supposed to go straight to the event, or maybe I edited it and I only had a little bit more to go. I think that's what it was. I think I only had a little bit left to edit. That's what it was. I didn't think it was going to take that long. So I got home from work, I edited the vlog, and then I uploaded it. Then I went to the event. I went to the event. It wasn't even that great. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to go home. And then on my way home, I realized that it had a copyright strike. And if you guys are following me on Instagram, which it's right there at Brelynn.hunt, excuse me, I talked about it on my story. I was like, child, I just dropped the ball. Like it just didn't go as planned, and it was really frustrating. But at the end of the day, I got the vlog up the next day. So if you guys haven't seen that vlog, I don't even know what that one was about, but that was the last vlog. So I got the vlog up, I got the podcast up, and now this is the next video that I want to do for you guys, which is a story time. And like I said, the vlog of my first day on Capitol Hill. So I'll have that up for you all tomorrow, if you don't mind, just so that after this podcast, I can go cry in my bed like this podcast after the stream. I really don't like my outfit. Like, so today, there's something I want to talk to you guys about. But I basically went to this health policy academy thing today. So I wasn't like on the hill. And so I really just wasn't, and I knew I was going to wear makeup today. I'll talk about that a little bit. So I didn't really like, I wore an outfit that I'm not like, I don't love, but I don't hate. I think I just don't like it like from this version up, but I was editing this vlog so I could possibly get it up before community time today. So I didn't change when I got home. And now looking at it, I'm like, ew, I don't like this. But anyway, um, that's what's been going on with me. Like I'm really just trying to get on my Zoom. The 5 a.m. thing is still very hard, but I'm working on it. In another note, just because I just mentioned it, I got a chemical pill. Okay, we're back. My dark spots have been so bad lately. Like every time it's about to be my period, my hormonal breakouts are just so bad. I'm just like, I don't understand why. I don't know what to do. I really need to go to a dermatologist because I probably need to get on medication because it's like coming from the inside. But I've been going to an esthetician, and so after doing a couple of like facials and things, we decided like, okay, it's time for us to do a peel. So I got the peel on Monday, and so I'm not wearing any makeup because I should be peeling. It's only started right here, if you guys can see, and like a little bit here. I'm not really vlogging this week because I'm behind on my vlog. So sometimes I get overwhelmed when I'm like, oh gosh, I have like too much like footage in the vault. So I haven't been vlogging, but I am doing some updates. So you guys will see that if you care. I know for me, like I was kind of looking up videos of like people and their skin peeling and like how long it's going to take them and stuff, and like the before and after and the improvement. So if you care, I will include that in an upcoming vlog. But that's been going on with me. What else? What else? What else? I think there's other things too, but I feel like a lot of the stuff is I'm just trying to get the ball rolling on a lot of things because like work is picking up. I need to get back on like social media. Like I really have not been on social media like that, like how I should be. I've been on YouTube, but and I'm on here heavy, but even this I haven't been like as consistent as I need to be. And now I'm trying to do this and like not necessarily do the short form content. I don't know who it was, but one of you all, one of you double majors, you were commenting that, which I talked about in the podcast, where y'all were like, and you also trying to do short form content. Like, girl, I'm not gonna try and do short form content, but at least like posting on Instagram. And now that I don't post my devotions in the morning time, since I'm like reading the Bible, well, I'm still reading the Bible, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing a Bible plan where I'm reading the Bible from beginning to end. And there isn't necessarily a devotion that goes along with it. I'm doing like my own solo devotion. I don't post like every single day like I used to, as well as I decided that I want to kind of calm down on posting every time I go to the gym. Although I know it can be inspirational and like it kind of keeps me accountable and it's very much like post or it didn't happen, it's giving a lot of people an excuse to slide into my DMs because the body is bodying. Okay. And I was like, okay, I got to chill out because it's like unwanted attention in that way. So that's that. Book wise, I think last time we talked, I told you guys that I was finishing up Fourth Wing. I think I had like a couple of hours left or something. Not only did I finish this book, mind you guys, I was listening to this book as well, like I always do, but this time I was listening to it on Libby, which is the online library where you can rent audiobooks and ebooks. And so I rented the audiobook and I was listening to it and I was reading it and I was trying to move a little bit fast because you only get the rental for a certain amount of time. So my rental was for 21 days by the time I got the physical copy book because I had to buy it from Amazon. I had 17 days. I read it in like 16 days, like 16 to 15 days or whatever. There was one day where I started my period. I think it was not this past Saturday, but Saturday before last, and I was in the bed the whole day because like my stomach was really, really hurting, and I just read the entire day, and I think I read at least like 10 or so hours. So, and I also did a lot of just listening to it as I've been. We talked about this in the last vlog, as I've been going back and forth. Not the last vlog, but the last community time. Hold on, my laptop is about to die. Let's see if this will reach to this side, y'all. I am so ghetto today. I need this thing to reach, or else the stream is gonna stop. And if this stream stops, I ain't coming back. Okay, we're all hooked up. So anyway, I ended up finishing the book with like one day left, and I loved it. I rated it 5 stars, and I just really enjoyed reading the fantasy. And so, because I had one day left on the audiobook before I had to like give it up, I was like, I'm just going to listen to it again from the beginning because you guys know how like the first 100 pages of like any like fantasy or like dystopia or whatever type of book, it's all like building the characters, building the world, building the scene. And I was listening to it and I was reading it, but I felt like looking back after like having known everything that was going on, I was like, okay, I feel like I missed out on some details because I was just trying to like push through and like keep reading in order to get into it. Like I was trying to get into the book, so I was like, I don't know about all these little details. So I basically was like, let me just start it over and re-listen to it while I was at work because sometimes my work can be a little bit like I can have music or like be on the phone. Like I can kind of do something at the same time, which is different than like when I was studying like in school or when I'm like writing, like when I'm doing research and I'm writing, I listen to like lo-fi music at the same time. But this stuff that I'm doing, like responding to emails or like I can listen to things at the same time. So I was listening to the book, and then I literally like went into a meeting at work, and I came back, and my like reservation for the book was over. So I was re-listening to it, and I was like maybe a third of the way through, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to go back and I'm going to purchase the audiobook on Audible, which I know is so stupid. You guys are going to be like, you did this so that you didn't have to waste money. But I was like, I want to reread this book again. I have not finished a book and have been like, I want to reread it right now yet. I have not done that yet. And mind you, this is a 20-hour book, but I literally was like, I'm going to start over because I feel like I did a lot of listening to the book and not enough like reading it. I did both, but I did a lot of just listening to it as I was traveling. And I felt like I wasn't able to really like pick up on certain things. Um, yeah, so I basically was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna reread it because I really enjoyed it and I feel like there's more details and I just want to like experience it all again. And personally for me, I know that there are like this is a series, right? There's only 2 books out so far, the first one and the second one. The second one, Iron Flame, I was like, okay, immediately I'm gonna just buy it on Audible in case I want to listen to it again because this whole like rushing to finish and then like having to like wanting to purchase the book, like I should have just purchased this from the beginning. I will still like get books off of Libby, the ebooks or the audiobooks off of Libby, but not ones that I think that I may want to reread. Now, how was I supposed to know? Oh, sorry. The author is Rebecca Yarros. How was I supposed to know that I was going to want to reread this book? Because again, want I haven't wanted to reread a book since I've started my reading journey, but that's just how good it is. So, my goal or my plan is to finish this book and then I'm going to move on to my next one. And I think the reason too why I wanted to reread this is because the book that's been on my TBR has been Legacy, which is like a memoir. And I know that it's a little bit dark and it's about like the medical field and things. And I just enjoyed this. I just had fun. It was just good old reading fun. Excuse me. And that book is not going to be as fun. So I feel like I'm kind of like avoiding it. So I did end up buying some other books. We could talk about them at the next community time. I got some more fantasy and I got some more romance because I'm like, if I'm slowing myself down reading to the point where I'm reading the same thing because I don't want to read what's next, like let's not waste the time. As you guys know, I wanted to read 12 books in the month of 2024, which is, one book a month. It is now April, but like at the end of March, I was on book 5, I believe. So, or 4 in March, whatever. I think it was 5. So I'm like, I'm above my count. But now that it's April, I'm like, okay, I need to hurry up. Like, I can't, like, this was the only book I read in March, whereas I've been reading like two about a month. So yeah, I'm like, I need to hurry this up, and then hopefully I can finish kind of basically like 2.5 books, like rereading this book and maybe two others in the month of April. That's my goal. But I will do a book haul and a TBR for April in the next community time. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to this book because I finished it and I loved it. Oh, and I was saying that for Iron Flame, my goal is to read that in like June or July because the author just announced that the third book is coming out in January of 2025. And so personally for me, I don't want to read this book and then jump right into the second book and then have to wait like 9 months for the next book to come out. Um, so I'm just going to read this book, read some other books, and then go and read Iron Flame. And that way I'll have about 6 to 5 months in between that book and like when the next book comes out. I basically just want to spread it out. That's my I know everybody loves Iron Flame. I um I want to read it. I want to read it, but to I want to spread it out. So, that is my update on the books and that's really it, y'all. Oh, what's the series about? Thanks, Morgan. I'm like, yeah, the book. Okay, so the series is basically about a war college where, of course, like I said, it's fantasy, so it's dystopian. So in this war college, where there's kind of like three grades. So think about like freshman, junior, senior. Like you're there for 3 years, and the goal of it is that it. Have you ever tried to explain a book and not be able to? So there's currently like a war going. There's a war going on. Um, the main character, her mom is a general for the military. So it's like, yeah, it's like a military prep type of college. And the goal of the college is to wean out the weak people in order for you to prepare like to go into the military and then serve the country. There was a rebellion shortly before the main character went off to school. And so all of the children all of the people who were part of the rebellion, their parents were killed by the government or by the military, by the government or whatever. And all of their children were forced to go into there's like different quadrants. So there's different type of colleges that you can go into in like the war college. So you have people who are kind of like the doctors, you have people who are like the historians or the scribes or the journalists, kind of like all in one, they're called scribes. And then you have these things called writers. And so these are the people who are actually doing the combat in the war. And they do this by riding on dragons. And so the whole purpose is that you're like going through all this like combat training, hand-to-hand battles, like obstacle courses and things in order for you to get paired with a dragon. And in the middle of that, there's like old friendships, love, drama, fighting, people killing each other, family drama, people dying. Like that's basically what the story is about. And yeah, so I probably didn't do a good job explaining that, but oh, Libby has 100 copies available right now in my public library. Wow, where are you at? Because was it the ebook, Jay, or is it the audiobook? Because I waited like a couple of weeks. Cincinnati, I guess nobody in Cincinnati wants to read Fourth Wing because everybody in DC, child. I actually got off of the waiting list. Like as soon as I got Fourth Wing, I put myself on the waiting list for Iron Flame. But then when I finished it, I was like, I'm not gonna do Iron Flame through Libby because just in case I want to re-listen to it. But anyway, um, you guys gave me some recommendations, like I said, in our last community time for some other, like, especially Black fantasy books. And I may or may not have picked a couple of them up. So we'll talk about it in our next community time, like I said, when I do the book haul and my TBR. What else is going on in life, child? I feel like I want to update you guys via the vlogs. Like I like for you guys to see this stuff in the vlog first, and then for me to recap here. I hate to like break news because I like it to be fresh in the vlogs. So I think I may end this community time, and then we can just reconvene when more of the footage comes out. Um, Morgan says that she's not really a fantasy girly, but hearing me excited about it makes me want to check it out. I feel like this isn't too fantasy. I mean, it is because it's like they're talking to dragons and like the dragons can like talk to them or whatever. But that's really like at the end it started to get a little bit like, okay, now we're talking, but it's very practical. Like I think other than the fact that they are dragons, it feels very like realistic. It doesn't feel too far fetched. Like it's just like 1 degree from reality. But everything else is like, oh, I could totally see this happening. It's just a little fantasy. So I think that you should, try it out. Um, but I definitely get if you're not a fantasy girly, stick to what you know and you love if that's what keeps you reading. That's what I say. I did ask you guys on Instagram. Oh, y'all want to talk about P. Diddy for the spill the tea, child. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that man and what's going on in that situation. Um, except for just the industry is a really scary place, child. I wonder if I could change this thing to say spill the tea. Will it work? Yay! I think that's all I can do. Let's leave the diddler alone. That's fine with me. We can do that. Okay. And everybody wants to talk about Cowboy Carter. Cowboy Carter is a bop. Everybody's just like Cowboy Carter. Okay. Um, I've listened to it probably about 2 full times, like all the way through. Like I listened to it 1 time, like and a half, and like the half was like kind of split. I like it. Like I don't hate it. I don't love it yet, but like it's very hard to love an album. I feel like on the first listen or two. My thoughts on it are I really love that she said that this was a Beyonce album, not a country album, because it really gives me, it's like a soul album with like a country twang. It like has a country aesthetic to her, like a waft of country. But it's not like, but it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. It's like, it's Beyonce. Like, I hate that people keep saying that, but like it really is. Thank you. Yeah. So my favorite songs, everybody type in if you listen to the album, what are your top 5 favorite songs from Cowboy Carter? Let me pull it up so I can think about it as well. So I feel like everybody's over 16 carriages, but I'm sorry, I'm still not over it. I really like 16 carriages. I really like the storytelling in it. I really like how, like, we talked about this, how it's kind of like R&B, just in the sense where it's like storytelling through music, and her vocals are pretty. It's easy to listen to. You can listen to it on repeat. Like, I just really like 16 carriages. So that's number one, or that's one of mine. I really like, is it Dolly P, I think? And of course, I really like Jolene. I know that that was like kind of the memes that were going around, like, oh, uh, like Beyonce changed the lyrics to Jolene. And mind you guys, I have like white coworkers who like work in my member's office with me, and so I don't know. I guess it's just the energy and vibe. It's because I'm excellent. I give off, of course, I would be a Beyonce fan. Like, or they just know that like I'm a black woman, so like the chances of me. But it's like, why is the only thing y'all want to talk to me about Beyonce? Now, yes, this is pop culture, so maybe you just want to talk to anybody about it, or do you just feel like this is the best thing that you can talk to me about? Either way, you're right. Either way, you're right. Because yes, I did listen to the Beyonce album. Yes, I do think she's amazing. Yes, yes, yes. Um, but anyway, one of the girls was like, "Oh, I don't feel like she should have changed the lyrics to Jolene. It's her album." Like, I love that she did it, and I love her version of it. I loved her voice on it. I loved it. So I love Jolene. I love the Two Hands to Heaven. I love that. I also really like Riverdance. I don't know if that's my top five, but like, oh, Yaya. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, everybody loves Yaya. I love Yaya. And then I love Tyrant. Tyrant, I want to get a copyright strike so bad right now and dance to Tyrant on this stream because that makes me want to dance. I was just telling my bestie, I'm like, that's what are those things called when a person like plays an instrument? I don't know what the instrument is, I don't know what it's called. And then like a snake will come out and they'll be like the snake will be like moving like this. Cobra. I don't know what it's called. That's how I feel when I hear Tyrant. I feel like like yes, it's time for me to wake up and dance. Like I love that song. Now, I also was seeing people saying like, "Oh, Beyonce, like she just gets freakier and freakier every time," and I was just like, "Oh, I feel like I need to really listen to the lyrics," but because I was like, excuse me, because I was kind of multitasking while I was listening to it, I didn't have the lyrics open. Of course, I also like the Sweet Honey Bucking. I feel like the last half of the song. Okay, so this is my review. The first half of it is, slow. It definitely gives more country because it's just, especially comparing it to Renaissance, where it was very upbeat and like high tempo. It was literally house, like dance music. This isn't as much dancing, like obviously, but that's not the point of it. So I really think that you are going to enjoy the music and appreciate it when you look at the lyrics and you just think about like again the storytelling behind it all and the musicality of it and things like that. It's easy to listen to. Like there's nothing to where I'm actually really surprised that a lot of people like the American, I don't know how to pronounce that word. I know she sings it, but Requiem. Um, it gives intro, but like I can't keep listening to it. Like whenever I do like go to play it, I kind of skip that first one. Maybe I need to listen to it a little bit more. And I know that it has a good like meaning to it, but it's a bit like I don't know. Um what else? And also Texas Hold'em is kind of like growing on me now that like I hear it in the middle of all these songs. Like if I listen to the album from beginning to end, like Texas Hold'em kind of fits right in. I'm like, oh, like now I kind of want to listen to it. Whereas when 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em came out, I don't even think I listened to Texas Hold'em one time all the way through. And I was like, not for me. That's okay, not for me. But I love 16 Carriages. But yeah, I like Dolly P. I like 16 Carriages. I like Jolene. I like Yaya. I like Tyrant, and I like Two Hands to Heaven. That's my top six. And I also had some of my co-fellows say, which I thought was really interesting, how this album was more of a immediate like like I think it's the first listen you could be like, wait, I think I like this album. Like I said, obviously you have to keep listening to it and be like, which song is my favorite, which do I like, what's my favorite part. And that's why I was saying like the first half of it is a little bit slower than the second half, has more of that like it has more beats. Like even like Tyrant, it doesn't matter what she's saying over top of it, the beat is so good that I think that I would have loved the song regardless. So that's why I think that some of the later songs, especially the Sweet Honey Buckin' and the River Dance, it's like, of course, those songs are going to be kind of like my favorite because it's the most similar to the type of music that she kind of already makes. Those are the ones that are very much so like the hybrid. And also, those songs are, again, like similar to what I would personally listen to in this type of music that she makes. So I do love kind of like the later half of the album, but I think with time, I will also love the beginning half of it. Um, that's a little bit more like slow and like has more of that country fusion to it. I was gonna say something else, but I lost my train of thought. Nicole says that she loves the way that she sounds in American Requiem, so I haven't been able to stop listening. I love that for you. I love that for you. I love that for you. That's what music is all about. Like, yeah, I really just enjoy that she's having fun and she's doing this. Personally, I'm always wrong when it comes to like my Beyonce, like whatever. Because before she announced this, I was like, oh, I really hope that she like goes on tour with Destiny's Child, and that's like the second act. Child, that's not gonna be none of the acts, unfortunately. But instead of going on tour for this, even though I believe that they said that the tours are already kind of like online, you know how she can't breathe and people won't know about it. Like they were like, oh yeah, also the cover art is so good. Like the cover art is so good. I love Shanae. I think that's her name. The red, white, and blue, like the sash. Like I love the cover art. I think it is so beautiful. But anyway, what was I gonna say? What was I saying? What was I saying? I was looking at the cover art and it distracted me. Dang, what was I saying? Let me drink some tea while I'm thinking about it. Um, oh, instead of doing the horse is actually Miley Cyrus's horse. Now that is a fun fact. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I love that. I love that fact. Shout out to Miley Cyrus, which I do like her song with her. It's not one of my favorites, but I do like it. And I know a lot of people like Levi's Jeans. I like that song as well. It's just not one of my favorites. As well as Just for Fun. But again, not one of my favorites. But I think I need to listen to it again. Um, dang, Micah, I got my train of thought, then I lost it, then I got it, then I looked at yours. Ooh, she's peeling. I'm just nervous because I got my facial on Monday and they told me I was going to peel today. So I was thinking I was going to wake up and be like, "Arr!" And so I was just so ready. No, you're perfectly fine. I appreciate it. That was a fun fact. I'm glad that you told me that. Anyway, I was expecting to peel, and then I'm like, I'm gonna need a little teeny. I'm like, it's gonna take you forever to get all out of my face. Like, I need this to hurry up. What was I gonna say, y'all? I was talking about the album. Oh, my co-fellows were saying that this album, they kind of liked it kind of with first listen, whereas with Renaissance, it grew on them. And after they listened to it a couple of times or like a lot of times, they started to like it, or they didn't like it at all, but then they like the visuals or they like the whatever. So I think that that's a good sign that people like this album on first listen. That like gives classic vibes. I also love that she is charting on the Cowboy on the country music charts, even if it's not country or whatever. Like I'm just glad that she's doing it. I love that for her. And oh, I was gonna say for tour wise, even though I think that I'm wrong, I know that I'm wrong, but I wish that she would do like a Cowboy Carter set, like how she did Homecoming for Coachella for Stagecoach, which you guys, if you're not familiar, that's like the country Coachella. I think that would be really cool instead of like going on tour, because if she goes on tour, I don't think I'm gonna go and see this just because I just went last time. It's expensive. Like I don't think she need to go on tour personally. I think she need to stay her butt at home with them kids and rest that knee. But if she wants to like do a performance, I think that she should do Stagecoach. But if she does go on tour, I hope that she also does the movie along with it, because I will definitely see the movie. I think the movie was like the best part of Act One. The only problem is like, why is Renaissance Act One not on streaming platforms? Like I thought that she was going to tie that loose end before releasing Act Two, which makes me think that we're never going to get it. So I'm kind of scared. But anywho, those were really all my thoughts on the album. I love the cover art. I'm loving the songs. I'm loving how active she is too. Did you guys see that she just accepted an award for, it wasn't double NAACP. Oh, it was the iHeart Music Awards. And like she was in Japan or something, like doing a meet and greet, and people were able to like talk to her and hug her, and everybody was like, "What the heck? Um, why do y'all get a meet and greet?" But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving her being out and about. And I'm just so blessed to be in this era of my life where, not era of my life, I'm blessed to be living at the same time as Beyonce. I know it sounds so hivey, but listen, I wish that I, excuse me, y'all, the tea makes me burp a little bit. Sorry. I wish I was more coherent for when Whitney Houston was on this earth, because she was like the greatest singer of our, not of our time, because it's not my time. Like it kind of was, but it kind of wasn't, you know? So the fact that we are living with Beyonce and we get to have these conversations, and it wasn't like, what do you feel like is Beyonce's best album? She's been gone for 50 years, or like she hasn't released an album in 20 years. Like we can talk about it in real time. I am honored and privileged to be living in the same generation as her. I know that, again, I know it can sound so like whatever, but I take the small wins. Um, exactly, Tierra. Whitney is an amazing singer, and I wish that I was alive during her peak as well. But yeah, Beyonce is outside. I can't wait to continue watching her and seeing what else she does for the rest of her um, push for this. And I also am really happy to see her kind of like excited about music. Um, because she kind of had like, yeah, this weird, not that she wasn't excited, but she was very lax with Renaissance. Like you can even tell on tour, like she was having fun, but I think that you could tell that she's very passionate about this project. And I just in general love seeing people be passionate about what they love and stuff. So yeah. I think that was it for, literally there were like 30 different ones people told me Cowboy Carter. So those are my thoughts on it. And last but not least, I can answer some of these questions for the mentorship advice. Ooh, okay. So two different questions. One of them says, "What's been my experience so far navigating the corporate world from direct patient care?" I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily in corporate. I feel like Capitol Hill, like, yeah, it's like a sector of corporate, but I think it's a completely different ball game. I think it's very different than corporate. Like it's a corporate esque to where it's professional, but I feel like even the way that like medicine has its own professional like network and things are different in the professional ways that way. I think so is Capitol Hill and politics and Congress. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm in the corporate world, but being in the professional world, it is different from patient care. So far, my experience has been good. Well, it depends. Like, if I'm just talking about my Capitol Hill experience and not like, I think, I guess the foundation was more corporate-y, but it was corporate with like a dash of Capitol Hill, like a dash of like the Congress esque corporate side of it. That's all been great. The Capitol Hill side, I think the main thing is just like, and again, I don't want to spoil it because you guys going to see in the video tomorrow, but it just feels very far from where I'm supposed to be. And I think that sometimes you have to try things that, you know, that you're passionate about to see like if you like them. And I think that I had goals about taking like advocacy further and just like my career, still like very much so in line with like medicine and things, but just similar to how you can do medicine as well as academia, you can do medicine as well as like global health, you can do medicine and public health, you can do medicine and business, and like, you know, have your own practice, or like hospital administration. Like there's a lot of intersections of medicine and other things. And I was so passionate about advocacy and interested in it. And with this experience, I was thinking like, well, maybe that would be my avenue. But now that I'm in this space, which I can't necessarily say it's a hard no, but I think that I'm like less interested in like this being my thing with medicine. I think that I would have to have more experience to know, or at least like see how it is on the other side of it. But like on this side of it, meh. So I don't dislike it, I just don't like it. um and so my experience so far has been interesting because I find myself, I just don't care enough. I don't care enough to like to network and like to go places and to talk to people and to do things, because I'm kind of just like, I don't think I'm gonna be here for very long. And I don't think I'm gonna need like whatever. And I know that you should like, I treat everybody with respect, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's very hard sometimes to play the game when you don't even really want to be there. So that's kind of how it's been so far navigating it. Um, I learn as I go, and I just try and put myself out there while also like staying true to myself. And I think that it's really helpful to be with a cohort of my other fellows, because I never feel like I'm going into something alone. Okay, the last question of the evening before we close it out. If anybody else has a question that they wanted for me to answer, or if they wanted the group consistency on as like our peer mentorship moment, definitely leave it in the chat now. I can change this thing here to say mentorship moment. Definitely leave it in the chat and we can answer that after this. But if not, this will be our last question of the evening. And they ask, how do you keep pushing when things around you aren't going right? It's a great question. Story of my life. I feel like I keep pushing by not focusing. It's like actually contradictory, focusing on what's right in front of me as well as not focusing on what's right in front of me. And I say that because you don't want to focus on things that are not going right, but the things that are going right in your life, because there's always a reason for the season. So the sooner you figure it out, the sooner that you will be able to walk in your purpose, have peace, give yourself grace, learn what you need to learn, and just in general like enjoy life. So looking at what's in front of you, it allows for you to have gratitude, and gratitude changes everything. It doesn't matter where you're at, what you're doing. Like, if you have gratitude, you can have more faith, you can have more love, you can have more trust, you can have endurance, you can have hope. Like, you just have to have gratitude first. So that, but like I said, also like looking further ahead. So these seasons, I keep telling y'all, these seasons, they change quickly. It's temporary. Use that motivation for, I don't really like where I'm at right now, to push you to where you want to be. If you are like complaining every day but you're not doing anything about it, like, then you're just wasting space. You're just putting hot air in the universe. Whenever I feel anxious about like where I'm at, I use that energy, or I try to put that energy towards doing something that can help me move towards the next step. So like when I was living in my mama's house and I was working at the doctor's office and I was so unhappy, like if I got home from a long day of work, instead of complaining about it, maybe I would look up master's programs with direct medical entrance, or maybe I would look at other jobs. Like I was job searching while I was also school searching, while I was also, preparing for Miss Maryland stuff at the time, because I'm like, well, maybe if I Miss Maryland, then I could have like a year break doing these things. So like focus on kind of your next step, but also like what can make you happy. Have that gratitude, but also don't allow yourself to get so comfortable in the spaces to where you're not moving, because sometimes that discomfort is there for a reason. It's so that you don't stay there, so that you keep moving. So if you're not happy, then keep moving. Um, so yeah, I think that's all we should talk about today. Her horse died in 2009. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Okay, wait, one more question. How did I know that God was telling me to keep going on the path of medicine? Did He give you signs, or are you just gonna keep saying, I hope his plan, this is his plan too? No, He's definitely given me signs. Very clear signs. Like even sometimes I'm like, well, what if I do this? Which is like, because nowadays it begins to the point where I'd be like, God, but especially more recently, I would say, okay, before, I don't want to say this because I don't want to share this actual like situation and moment, but I would just say that I received confirmation from God Himself. So, and then I always do pulse checks, and I know that I am filled with the Holy Spirit, so I listen to myself. Like like there's a bit of like humanity that I may have to where I'm like, dang, like maybe this isn't for me. Like I'll have those moments, But if I actually try and do something different, my spirit also won't let me. It'll be like, now you know. Like I said, even when I'm in this space, it's kind of just like, all right, girl, this is cute, but like, don't get comfortable. This ain't. Mm-mm. I just don't. I don't. It's not even that I don't have peace, because I actually do. I have a lot of joy and I have a lot of peace. Even though I'm not doing what I want to be doing, but there's always there's always signs, there's always moments, there's always words, there's always things that keep my passion, that continues to fuel my passion, which lets me know, like, no, this is what I care about. Like, this is why I was put on this earth. Like, I really really care about this, and this is the way that I thought that I was supposed to go about it. And once I was confirmed, like, yes, that's the way, it was like, okay, well then it really it doesn't really matter like how I think that it's supposed to happen. I posted it on my Instagram story yesterday because my Morales brother posted it. Let me see if I can find it. But it's like, child, what did he say? Is this on my story? Did it? No, delete it. Hold on. I gotta go. I gotta go to my archives because I want to say it exactly how that post said it. Somebody said, "What's the loudest lesson that you've learned?" And then the person commented and was like, "Stop trying to tell God how to write your story." So that's just how I feel. I definitely get signs. I've definitely gotten confirmation, but if I ever want to write my own story, I'm quickly reminded, like, that's not your job. That's Jesus J. That's God's job. So, and that, yeah. And I think that, I don't know. I think that he would do something to move me in a way, if like back towards the course, if I got so discouraged or disheartened and I wanted to move away from the career, my aspirations towards the career, I believe that he would make sure that I would end up back on track, um if I got too far off, if it was what he really wanted for me. And I haven't been able to veer off that far because I'm always just like, again, something will happen to where my passion is fueled again, and it just continues to inspire me. And so, and I just think it's a part of my personality as well to have that tenacity, to keep going, like, despite being faced with challenges. And so, just between my passion, my my will to succeed, and all those different things, and then, like I said, with the confirmation, it's just a matter of like, okay, I just like chill and I trust with time, and I don't like pay attention like to little nitty gritty details anymore. It's like, at this point, I'm just floating, and then I do my checkpoints, and if I have a moment where I'm like, okay, my meter of hope or trust or what, or faith or whatever, is a little bit low, I need to do to get that back up. Or if I can't tell that my own meter is low, then that's sometimes when I'll get confirmation or I'll get a word or something, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, now I'm filled back up. So hope that answered your question. And oh, oh, we're pilling, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go and wash my face. Thank you so much for joining me on this community time. I know that it was really ghetto. I know I said it last time, but I'm gonna try again and troubleshoot. That way we don't have these same problems this next week. But I will have a new video up for you guys tomorrow. Another one on Sunday, God willing. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I love y'all. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.